Thank you for the opportunity for me to present my investment pitch for Bayol's Hausbraurei Bierstube. Now, what is a Hausbrauerei Bierstube, you may ask? Well, Hausbrauerei is the German word for in-house brewery, and Bierstube is the German word for beer pub. My company will focus on craft beer and be supplemented by a small restaurant serving organic local produce. Now, before continuing, I would like to share with you my mission and vision statements. The mission statement for Bayol's Hausbrauerei Bierstube is to serve and brew quality, handcrafted beers paired with local produce that brings the community together to socialize, relax, and most importantly, enjoy life. The vision for Bayol's Hausbrauerei Bierstube is to enrich people's lives by creating and serving the best beer and regional cuisine. Now, why would I want to open my own brew pub? Well, I am very passionate about beer. I drink beer, I brew beer, and I visit places where beer is brewed. In fact, I have visited over 50 breweries throughout Europe, to include Germany, Belgium, and the Czech Republic. The second reason is there is huge growth potential for craft beer. My goal is to acquire $1 million in startup capital. This presentation will include an internal analysis of my company, an external analysis of the industry, critical success factors, my business strategy, and the strategy implementation. The internal analysis was conducted using a research-based value approach, focusing on internal firm factors. Location is very important, therefore I plan to locate my brewery in Loudoun County, Virginia, which is in the Washington, D.C. metro area. There are a few reasons for this. One is potential revenue. The median household income for Loudoun County residents surpasses $100,000, therefore they have more disposable income. Second, vast farmlands exist in Loudoun County that can supply the brew pub with raw materials and organic local produce. Lastly, infrastructure exists for future distributions. There is an international airport nearby and many interstates. My company will gain competitive advantages through management, marketing, finance, and research and development. All functions of management will be imperative. Communication will be the highest priority. The workforce will be minimal, but everyone will need to know how to do everyone else's job in some capacity. I will hire self-motivated people who believe in craft beer and the local organic produce concept. I will motivate these people with company stock, profit sharing, and monthly beer rations. In terms of marketing, social media will be crucial for market penetration. Social media will be used for advertising, promotions, customer analysis, and marketing research. Distribution will initially be minimal due to mostly in-house sales. This will allow for greater returns as the manufacturing process is expanded and perfected. Distribution will be expanded as demand increases, which may lead to partnerships with wholesalers and distributors. Finance is the best measure of a firm's competitiveness and attractiveness to investors. I will focus on 3 financial ratio categories, which include activity, profitability, and growth ratios. The most important ratio will be the net income, which will measure the growth rate of profits. Research and development will be essential for survival. First, I will focus on creating a flagship beer will be the cornerstone of the product line. R&D will be used for new seasonal beers that will supplement our flagship product. This will potentially capture new customers and hopefully increase product awareness. Also, I hope to discover a new brewing technique that may be patented, and then I can enjoy profitability with no competition. The internal factor evaluation matrix summarizes strengths and weaknesses found during the internal analysis. The most important items on this slide are number 1 and number 6. Our biggest strength is the quality of our products, and therefore we gave this the highest weighting of 0.15 and gave us the rating of 4 for major strength. Our biggest weakness is that our supply does not meet the demand because our capacity is low. We also gave this our highest weighting of 0.15 and gave the rating of 1 as a major weakness. Our overall rated score was 2.58 out of 4. This means that we are slightly above average, however we have significant room for improvement. The external analysis was conducted using an industrial organizational approach that focused on external industry factors and competitive external forces. Additionally, Porter's 5 forces model was used to determine the competitiveness based on rivalry from competing firms, potential entrants, and substitute products. The SWOT matrix summarizes strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The internal analysis already spoke about the strengths and weaknesses. The external analysis will focus on opportunities and threats. There are 3 key opportunities. First, craft beer only comprises 6% of the market. This is not a significant threat to the two dominant companies, Miller and Anheuser-Busch. Therefore, there is a potential to chip away at the market share of these larger companies. Second, growth in the craft beer market segment is expected to increase by 10 to 15% annually. Third, high demand for craft beer remains despite the current economic depression. There are four key threats. First, Miller and Anheuser-Busch dominate the beer industry and control 80% of the U.S. beer market. Second, the craft beer market segment is highly competitive. Third, beer is highly regulated by the government. This reduces the number of potential consumers by eliminating a growing demographic of people aged 18 to 20 years old. Lastly, competitors will continue to innovate and make new products, which will increase substitutes. The external factor evaluation matrix summarizes the external opportunities and threats, but expands on some topics left out of the SWOT matrix. The most important items on this slide are number 1, number 10, and number 11. Our biggest opportunity is growth. Growth of the craft brewing industry in 2011 was 13% by volume and 15% by retail dollars. Therefore, we weighted this the highest at 0.12 and gave ourselves a rating of 2, which means average response to this opportunity. Our biggest threats are competition related. The total amount of breweries that operated for some of all of 2011 was 1,989, which is the highest total since the 1880s. Therefore, there are many substitutes. Our total weighted score is 2.99 out of 4, which means we are well above average and postured well against the competition. However, there is room for improvement. I have identified 9 critical success factors that are summarized in the competitive profile matrix. The matrix compares critical success factors between Bayol's Hausbraurei and Bierstube and 2 competing companies, Lost Rhino and Vintage 50. Bayol's Hausbraurei and Bierstube has high ratings in advertising, quality, and food. However, it has low ratings in market share and financial position. The total weighted score of 2.65 is slightly above average, but significantly lower than the local competition. My beer pub has a lower rating mainly because the competition is well established and enjoys a high market share. In terms of business strategy, I will use a best value focus strategy to penetrate the market and target a niche segment that prefers handcrafted beers to macro brewed beers. There are several reasons for this strategy. 1, the target market is a significant size. Second, the craft beer industry has great growth potential. Third, the niche is not crucial for the 2 big leaders, Miller and Anheuser-Busch. Despite the potential growth in the craft beer market segment, there are potential risks and threats. Increasing numbers of competing firms are entering the market with relative ease. Therefore, I will need to differentiate myself on quality, packaging, and uniqueness. I will package my beer in aluminum cans. Not only do aluminum cans protect beer better than glass bottles, they are perceived as unique, distinctive, and represent a specialized niche market. To increase uniqueness, seasonal and special edition beers will be packaged in large champagne-style bottles. To combat threats from the competitors and potential entrants, I will focus on building a loyal customer base and attracting new customers with discounts and promotions. I will also offer a limited menu of bar snacks and food. The menu will feature local produce and meats to differentiate from the typical bar menu. A good strategy will only work if it is implemented correctly. The best value-focused strategy will be implemented by managers and employees. How will they do this? I will motivate them with employee stock ownership plans, also known as ESOPs. There are 3 pros to this approach. It empowers and motivates employees. Additionally, there are substantial tax savings. Also, banks lend money to ESOP companies at below prime interest rates. However, there are a few cons. There are high initial legal, accounting, and appraisal fees. Also, there is significant annual administrative cost. However, I hope this will be offset by employee productivity because of motivation from ownership. The most important part of strategy implementation are annual objectives. Profit will be unattainable for the first few years. However, I will focus on increasing market share by at least 2% each year. In conclusion, I hope this presentation has persuaded you to invest $1 million in Bayol's Hausbraurei and Bierstube. I believe there is a high probability that my company will be profitable. In fact, I will be able to repay back the initial investment of $1 million within 10 years with a 20% return. Thank you for your consideration. Zum Wohl.